Alright, turn 12. No amphibious operations phase. If Shibasaki in command conduct a Japanese counterattack, well, how fortunate that we killed him last turn. Alright, oh, double reds and purples. Ugh. Alright, at least there's no artillery. Double red. We'll fire at these guys, but they're looking for circles, so fortunately they miss. Oh, wait a minute. They're a double red with the A symbol. So let's reconsider. They are coastal A. Actually, they just want to fire. Coastals are just going to fire. So these guys are going to fire and fortunately miss. We control this. Coastal unoccupied A does nothing. Coastal inland unoccupied A is not within 2. Oh, God. Actually, that's not double. He's not a double, so he won't do artillery fire. If it was a single red A, he would do artillery fire, but it's double red, fortunately. Although these guys down here, this is terrible. And these guys get reduced. C1, 2. I don't know. I moved them up there thinking a red just came out. Maybe a red wouldn't come out and would be able to jump in on them. But now they're both shot and disrupted. Oh, nuts. I mean, I could have moved him here, which would have put him, only the circle would have got shot, but then they would, oh, they're doubled anyway. I thought I was being smart putting them here, because then they wouldn't be doubled when they attacked, but they're already in. So yeah, that's a redo. If I had noticed that, I would have absolutely, instead of going one into here and leaving them here, they're going to be doubled whether they attack from here or here. I'm going to allow myself that one redo. So these guys, that's just something I for some reason I thought this was open, and if that was the case, I was going to gamble putting them here because this is open. See. That way they wouldn't be doubled and bringing them down here, but they're going to be doubled anyway. So if that's the case, you might as well go into the steady instead of the intense. So, you know, like I said before, it's not a tournament. I'm going to give myself that one back. So this guy, the circle does get shot, but at least this guy doesn't. Screw it. We're doing that. All right. Nothing to worry about here because we control it. That's a double brown, not a double red. And I don't think there's any other reds. Because there's nobody within... Now, there are no double reds with nobody in their field of fire. Yeah. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. All right. Purple R. So let's start up here. This guy up in the corner is a coastal R with no one. He wants to redeploy and fire. So I guess he would go here to get a little bit closer. Okay, so I guess he's just gonna, that's one closer, so he'll move there. This guy is an inland R, and he's going to redeploy and fire. And I would think that he would swoop around into here and then fire at these guys, which we already determined they're safe because they are steady fire coming from the red. So, okay, so that was his redeploy and fire. Single purples, single purple coastal on an R. Is, yeah, same thing, redeploy and fire. Now, he can't, he's 1, 2, 3 away here. If he moves here, He's going to be farther away from a US unit, so I would argue that he can't do that. So he can't move here, because then he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 away, whereas he's 3 away now, so I think he's going to stay put. Okay, I think that's how that works. Okay, these guys will, on a tank R action, will do an overrun. Fire if US units in the field of fire, then if at least one person is hit, move into a hex occupied by the nearest hit unit and close combat, then repeat if necessary. Holy moly. Alright, hold on a second. Okay, I think we're lucky. So these guys are in the tank's extended field of fire, but the extended field of fire is a steady, not an intense, so they're a triangle, the tank is looking for a circle. And then it says, if the tank fires but no US units are hit, no further action. Okay, so he surprisingly did not do an advance, which means we can finally on this turn move into here and lock that down. Jeez. Okay, we control this, so we don't have to worry about that. Here's another example of a guy who wants to move. He's a coastal R with no one in his field of fire. So now he's like, forget it, I'm going to abandon the artillery position. So I'm going to move that down to an 8 before I forget. And he is going to get closer to a US unit. So, and he can only go 3. So 1, 2, 3, I think would put him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is closer than he is now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. I think that he could, yeah. 1, 2, 3. I think that is legit. So he goes there. No one to fire at, fortunately. I don't have to worry about any other purples. They're not. We control that. This guy is an inland purple with no one in his field of fire. He wants to redeploy to get closer. Let's see if that's possible. Right now he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away. If he goes here, he would be 1, 2, 3, 4 away. So I guess he would move here and get a little bit closer. Boy, this is a huge brown mess of crap here. So now he's 1 closer to a US unit, and he's going to fire, and we move this guy out of the way. So he's no longer in here, which is fortunate. Okay. All right. No other purples that we have to work with here. So now let's look at blues. Blues are doing the M. It's been a while since we've done M. Excuse me. They will mortar. Inlands, if they're occupied and within 2, will muster, but I think we've kept ourselves away from that. Okay, blue here we control, don't have to worry about it. These are not blue. Okay, got a blue here, a coastal blue M with no one. He will fire mortar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close, actually. There's a blue here. I think this guy's going to do a mortar, isn't he? All right, who's a circle? These guys. So here's a case of they were hit once this fire phase, and normally that's all you can be hit. They were hit by the double red, but they can be hit again. So he's going to take another hit. Oh, man. All right, so that was the mortar fire from these guys. Okay, so here, damn it, I am having to learn this lesson again. Why did I move just 2 little units over here? Haven't I learned this lesson? You've got to move over in force. You can't just move 2 guys who looked really strong at the time, thinking, I'll move these 2 guys here and have them take. You've got to move over in force. And I just made the same mistake that I made earlier. And they get whittled down, and they have no one else sitting here to help them. And that, I think, is... okay, so I've got to learn that. All right, that was... what are we doing? Single blues? Here's a single blue who would normally muster if we weren't Fortunately, 3 away. Okay. Oh, that's left over from last turn. These guys aren't going to do anything, fortunately. This is a bunch of brown crap. I don't know what we're going to do about that. There's a lot of brown. These are brown, and these are brown. So I think we're going to stay away from now. We have a coastal M with no one. He's just going to fire a mortar. Poomp, not even close. And that's the end of that. All right, now we move with disruption. So both the purple and the blue come off, which is going to force our hand this turn. All right, second event card. Rear Admiral Shibasaki is killed again by naval fire. So I had said that it had not happened in any of my games, and he gets killed twice in one game. He's not nearly dead. He's most sincerely dead. All right. U.S. Engineer and HQ phase. All right, now, last turn I moved the 2 additional Engineer SP units onto the beach. So we've got 5 support markers coming our way. So let me grab them and put out the free actions from the HQs per my usual system, and then I'll start the camera again. Okay, I've spent some time making some decisions here. I put down 3 garrisons. They are actually, I can't put one here because he's threatened by this guy, isn't he? Oh, yuck. Okay, whoops. All right, well then I guess I put down 2 garrisons. You know, I'm going to put one down over here because that one's safe. I used 1 to burn off a disruption marker from this guy because I think we should do something with these, maybe even retreat them, I don't know. And we've got 1 left over that we need here. So this unit stack is attacking him. These guys have the demolitions and the support marker, which is I've never done. It's going to be used as a flamethrower. So now we are at 10 to 4. We have the weapons. We're doubled. He's defeated. Unfortunately, he just goes back into the reserve box. But what are you going to do? This stack, free action from the HQ, which is 6 and 1 of these, although each of these could do something different, so I might do something different with the other one. 6 and 7 is 13. 13 are attacking him. We don't have the weapon, but he's at least doubled, so he's disrupted. I had to get to at least 8 with that in order to invoke a disruption, so that's why I had to throw so much at it. Okay, so we still have 1 unit there who can do something. We can move the HQ if we want. This turn's tough. There's a lot of key decisions here, I think. Yeah, let me pause and count up how many position hexes we're legitimately close to. All right, this stuff is getting really difficult now. I think what we're going to do is we're going to retreat him back to here. Okay, you can't control that hex anyway. There's somebody there, so there's no point keeping him there. We control this hex, and we're not in red fire anymore. I don't want that unit to get completely eliminated. Okay. Okay, here's what's going through my head. Put both of these guys in this hex and sweat it out that they can survive, and next turn shoot that guy. I mean, this game is so much about taking chances. There's obviously no safe way to get to him. And you can't do ranged fire unless you have somebody adjacent to begin with. So if we could put them both here, the next turn we could spend one action. What to do with these guys, okay? They could shoot these guys. Seems to me the question is, coastal guys are usually pretty weak. I think these guys were originally coastal, right? I think they might have been up here and moved down, but I think they were. Actually, I don't remember. It could have been this for all I remember. But if they're coastal, then yes, they will be doubled because we're attacking across the seawall. So we have 9. We very well might end up disrupted because if we flip this over and we don't have, oh geez, there I go again. I actually did not see it because I closed my eyes. I actually closed my eyes. I did not see that flip. If we don't have the weapons and we're greater but not double, they will be disrupted. The other thing we could do is just have them go in close combat, and I'm kind of tempted to do that. All right, I need another minute to think. Those were the obvious moves. The other obvious move I'm going to do is I'm going to take this HQ and we're going to get it ready to set up as a command post. So I'm going to think about that too. All right, I'm going to leave him here one more turn, and we're just going to leave him here. We're going to have to close combat him next turn. Whether or not, I mean, we've got to get this hex. I'm thinking, you know, about establishing our command posts. So, all right. So here's a question went through my head. I think I'm just going to, again, keep it simple. Tanks can barrage if they are in the field of fire of the target hex. Since Japanese tanks have a field of fire that's 1 beyond, I'm thinking that this would count as the tanks, these guys' field of fire. So if these guys move here, I'm thinking next turn they would be eligible to barrage. Because this is this tank's field of fire. It's not the printed field of fire, but it is the field of fire for the tank. So I'm going to go ahead and move them in there. Okay. In fact, why don't we move them here? Okay, that's same deal. Okay, this might be crazy, but here's what I'm thinking. These guys, I'm afraid to shoot this guy because I'm afraid we're gonna end up being disrupted. I think we're gonna go in on. Oh, is that really dumb? I think we're gonna do it, and then I think these guys are gonna make a bum rush for this. Okay, such that we can go ahead and move the HQ over to here. This next turn, assuming these guys are still here, will be considered secured, and then we can plant them, which is what I want to do. These guys are going to go 1, 2, 3. Why don't we have them come over here? So I've decided to. Yeah, start making a push this way. Hopefully barrage these guys and maybe keep them quiet. I've also decided not to go this way at this time. If anything, we're just going to kind of draw a line right here. Maybe make these guys come to us or something, but I'm not ready to make a push with these guys are reduced. I think they're kind of weak, so I don't want to do that. So we're going to absolutely close combat this guy next turn, but we're gonna stop here, okay? And then we're being risky by pushing these guys into here. We're gonna be risky by close combating these guys here. Even if we don't win, if we can just survive and I just want these guys to be disrupted, these red guys. These guys are going to stay here. So now the question is, with our 2 actions left, do we send these 2 guys up against him, or do we do something with these stacks? I'm feeling these 2, so both of these guys are gonna move into here. So we don't want a yellow triangle to come out next turn. All right. All right, so we're close, by the way, to 12 position hexes. I forgot to mention that. We are close. So I feel pretty good about that. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let's see if we can get lucky. Ah, nuts. It's only 3 strength, but they got a close combat symbol. So just curious, had we attacked, they would have been 4, 5, 9 to 5, and not all the weapons, and we would have been disrupted. So yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4 to us. Okay. 2, 3 to them. Okay. And yeah, of course they get a hit. So I'm going to destroy this unit and discard a card. We fire back and we miss. No close combat event. They fire, they miss. We fire, we hit. No close combat event. So remove the depth marker and remove their final card, which would have been a hit. And our last one, no CC reinforced, please. Okay, we miss. And I believe we can exit wherever we want, right? Would we have to exit? Let me double check from where we came. Oh, they have to go back from where they came. Okay. So we're disrupted, they're disrupted. All in all, that wasn't too terrible. Okay. Now we just got to hope these guys can survive. Phew. So what, they got 2 out of 3 hits and we got 1 out of 4. That's just so par for the course. At least we didn't get any annoying events. Okay. I'm trying not to be too foolish, you know, pushing too fast, too far, you know, running up. But I feel like you've got to push somewhere. So I'm taking a chance here, moving up, pushing. I pulled these guys back at least. But if we can just eliminate them, we can secure all of these and have all of these. We'll have a lot of hexes secured. That turned out to be pretty decent. We've at least calmed him down from more red business. We don't have the biggest forces here, you know, actually, when I look at what we've got. I kind of have left these 2 guys out here stranded, and I realize that. So we've got to do something about that. But if we can get rid of this guy, I can move him up here. Anyway, these guys are going to have to get some actions next turn, I think is the obvious point. All right, let me shut up and set up for turn 13.